Hey everyone, how you guys doing? I'm just in my phone here so we can get a good picture. So there we go. I did video yesterday and you guys didn't even mention how horrible the sound was. I'm so sorry, guys. I apologize. I don't know what happened with the camera on the computer, so I'm doing this on my phone, but I'm here in my office. You can see above me all of my little toys. You remember me in my first couple of videos? I played with the toys. Well, there they are. And of course, I do got a bunch of business books. But today, guys, I want to talk to you guys about collecting deposits. Do you guys collect deposits? Well, let's find out if that's a good idea or not, all right? Hi, guys. If you don't know, I am Jae Burnham with The Real Jae Burnham Show, and this is my show. And I teach people I teach movers and entrepreneurs how to start and run their own successful businesses. So, guys, let's get right into it. Should you accept deposits? Well, that's a tough question in a lot of areas. In my particular industry, the moving business, accepting deposits is sort of kind of like a bad thing. But is it a wise thing to do? Most people in a lot of industries, people are expected to pay a deposit. If you get a construction worker, he's going to expect a deposit of like half of it before he even begins the job. Same with a painters and a couple other, any kind of service businesses typically requires a deposit. You go get a cell phone or a they're going to ask for a deposit. You get internet or cable television. The likelihood they're going to be asking for some sort of deposit. You can't even rent a house. They're going to ask you for first month's rent and a deposit, a security deposit, cleaning deposit, so on and so forth. So deposits are not something that people don't like. But the problem in my industry is that the companies abused the deposit. They would go, all right, we need 50% deposit before we'll, to book the move and so on. So let's say it's a $4,000 move. The mover asks for a 50% deposit. They get $2,000. And guess what? They never show up. They just don't show up. Now, I know it happens in other industries. I know it happens in the construction industry and the home improvement industry. To a degree, there are some of those guys out there that are just not that great. But it just really put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth to the point where, a lot of advice about hiring movers is don't accept a mover that accepts deposits. But I think that's wrong. I think we should, especially for the bigger jobs, accept deposits. Now, in the smaller local moves, I don't think we should accept deposits for that. That's not appropriate. However, and this has happened to me several times, there are going to be those customers that hire you to do a local move. Let's say they want you to move them next week on Friday. Meet them at 9 a.m. It's a 2-bedroom apartment or what have you. And lo and behold, when it comes time to do the move, they're already gone. They've done the move themselves. They're already left. And you're sitting there holding the bag. You sent your guys out there. You've got them in a truck. They're out there waiting. Or another thing that has happened is you're out there, you send a crew out there, and guess what? There's 2 other moving companies at the same place because they thought they booked you, but then they forgot or they didn't care to cancel or whatever. So they book another moving company and so on and so forth. So there are times out there that a deposit is warranted. Because it's going to happen to you guys. This is definitely going to be, you're going to get scammed like this. However, I wouldn't accept a deposit for those moves. What I would ask for is if you got a credit card device, even if it's a Square device, it doesn't matter. Have them fill out, if they say, yeah, I want you to do it, fax, email them over some paperwork and that they have to email back to you. Saying that, yeah, we're going to start, we're authorizing you to start your service. We're authorizing you to do service. And here's my credit card number. and so on and so forth. And with the express intention of letting the customer know, hey, we're not going to charge your credit card until we actually do the move, but we want your credit card just in case, you decide to cancel on us. And I would also have a cancellation policy. So this actually segues into a cancellation program. If your customer cancels the move within a timely amount of time, you would refund them that deposit, even though you wouldn't have ran the credit card necessarily or put the deposit through. You would definitely refund their money to them. You can do this, but so let's say for a long distance move, you give them 72 hours. If they book before the 72-hour deadline, great, awesome. Fine, no harm, no foul. You give them the money back, so on and so forth. But if they come in after that 72, well, then it's kind of hard to replace that job. And I think it's appropriate for you then to run a cancellation fee, like a couple $100 or something. Whatever you decide to do, but a couple $100, enough to, kind of make up for a little bit for that lost job. You're not, obviously, if it's a long distance job that's, several $100,000 or several hundred, $1,000 or a couple $1,000, couple hundred in a penalty isn't really it's peanuts, but hey, it's something. It's better than nothing. So you definitely should collect some sort of deposit or something that's going to prevent you from that. Now, so a lot of these big companies like van liners, like Stevens Van Lines, etc., that's what they do. They send out, if you book the move with them, you decide to go with them, they'll go, great, awesome. And then they'll email you a bunch of this paperwork which you have to sign and fill out and then email it back to them so that they'll put it back into their system. That way they know for a thing, hey, they got our paperwork, they got all of our stuff, so on and so forth. We know that they're going to be using us. And if they can't decide to go with another company, well, they're going to be out, several $100s with that because they do charge some sort of deposit on that. So now, but you shouldn't make your deposits. If you're going to do deposit, you shouldn't make them huge. I wouldn't go more than like 25% of the job for the deposit. Unless you're doing a long out-of-state job. Now, when we do out-of-state jobs, I ask for a deposit. And I ask for a cash deposit. It's got to be cash. And the reason why I ask for a cash deposit, I also ask for 35% of the move. The reason for that is that's the cash I give to the guys to do the move. So that's their gas, their per diem, their hotel, and so on and so forth. And if they run into a little bit of problem, then they've got some cash that they can situation. If they have to get some extra help because someone falls sick or something, they can hire some local labor guys or something. This helps them give a little bit, pays their expenses plus a little bit in case something happens. You never know. If you send them out with only what they're supposed to have, right down to the penny, then if something goes wrong, then they're stuck, and then you're stuck. How do you get them money, right? Unless you give them a credit card or something, that's going to be hard to give them money. So that's why I ask for a cash deposit with the remaining due on arrival. I specify that it's got to be on arrival, not after we unload the job, but once we arrive. Because a lot of people like to play this game, where something gets a little nicked or damaged or scratched, and especially the out-of-state jobs, they think, we're going to screw them over because we're out of state, and so they'll say, I'm just not going to pay the rest. No, you're going to pay it, or we're going to put your stuff in storage. And that's just the way it is. But collecting deposits is a very wise choice. It is definitely something you should look into. I don't do it personally for local moves. And yes, I do get scammed every once in a while. I get those scams. But I definitely do it for my long distance jobs. All my long distance, all my tariff jobs, I ask for a deposit. If it's a tariff job, I ask for 25%. If it's a out of state long distance job, I ask for 35%. It's up to you what you want to do, but definitely get a deposit from these guys, right? And just make sure you collect it. That way you're not going to lose out on, if they cancel before your time limit, great, refund the money. If they don't, then that money, that deposit's yours and it's non-refundable. And that just helps you stave off any kind of loss that you might run into. But you got to be careful with it. You got to do it in an ethical manner. You got to do it in a right manner. But collecting deposits is something you should put in your repertoire and your moving rates. And that should be in all your documentation. It should be on your website and so on and so forth. All right, guys. So I just thought I'd make this quick video. I'm on my phone here. We're going to download it, obviously, to the computer and upload it. But if you got any questions about deposits or anything, leave me a comment or a question below in the comment section. I'll definitely get back to you. I like you and love you. Make sure you give me a thumbs up on the video. That really helps me out. Share this with all your family and friends. And please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. Thank you. I love you, like you. All right, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.